let's move toward Raven and the New Church.
The other thing that's going to take up fucking forever.
I don't know, because like there's a lot of angles in all these shows. So the story of this month is that Shane Douglas has been relieved of his New Church duties.
Do you want to like, run through the Shane Douglas stuff real quickly? Because that's a lot shorter.
Yeah, so at the start of the month, there's a promo before a 3LK against Slash, Slyn, and Vampiro match where James Mitchell is just like, hey, Shane Douglas, thank you. We're done. You've beaten Raven for us. You've taken us there. Our relationship is now over.
Yeah, and the story, of course, being here that, like, Douglas wouldn't have had a way into TNA otherwise. So this was his way in, and now he's in. He earned his spot, and he's going to go on to do his own stuff now. Mainly cutting promos into pairs of tits.
So yes, Shane Douglas's new thing this month is that he is trying to recruit the new franchise. He's the man who popularized the shoot interview. He's the man who popularized the triple threat match. He's the man who made the franchise a household name. So now his new thing is he's going to recruit the next generation of franchise. So he's on a recruitment mission to find his new protege.
By cutting promos into titties.
So yeah, the entire thing is just a pretense for him to get women to show up next to him so he can talk to their boobs.
I did like the payoff here on the last week though, where the cameraman's like, all right, I'm going to go in for my booby shot. And then Shane Douglas is like, cuts this really good promo in to the camera about how like, nah, I pay your bills. I dragged you off the street. You'd be filming weddings right now if it weren't for me. So to keep the camera on me. And then he cuts his off-camera promo to to whoever it is. And they do like the little back and forth there. It's really good. I like that they obviously filmed all these in advance because Shane Douglas had his facial hair in all of these. But then when he shows up to do the live show stuff, he has a clean-shaven face.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Continuity errors in TNA.
But honestly, I think I just like Shane Douglas. All this Shane Douglas stuff was great.
Yeah, and he's good in this role as like the veteran who's trying to recruit the new generation of franchise. As mentioned, it's Michael Shane. They accidentally revealed that on the show because on the October 22nd show, Michael Shane has a match against Christopher Daniels and Chris Sabin, and they accidentally play the franchise's music before Michael Shane's music.
And of course, they don't acknowledge it. It also reminds you how good the Shane Douglas theme music is.
So yeah, it's very strange that they completely. But even like Michael Shane is talking backstage about how he's been getting advice that he should be doing this or that or shouldn't be defending the title in this way, and the announcers are forced to like not put it together. Like they even work it out that it's one of those three men that he's scouting because he is watching. He's shown in the crowd watching the X Division matches.
He does it twice. Like it's pretty convincing. He doesn't do it for any other match.
So he's very clearly he's recruited Michael Shane. The commentators should be able to put this together, but they're still like, who is he scouting? Who's in his new franchise?
I'm curious if franchise is the one who's like, change your name. Stop doing this Shawn Michaels shit.
No, the only reason that they don't change the name out of like a choice, it's just because WWE hired the Shane brothers, and Michael Shane was one of their names, which was trademarked, so he had to change his name to Matt Bentley.
But he had it first.
But he hadn't trademarked it.
Yeah, that seems like, can't you like make a claim that you had it on TV first?
I feel like you could.
Maybe they didn't care enough.
Yeah, or WWE just have more lawyer money.
Well, they definitely have more lawyer money.
I will say the crickets do add a nice ambiance.
I'm glad. Sometimes when like I'll play D&D online, I'll normally put on like a Witcher soundtrack or something, right? But sometimes I just search up like outdoor sounds, like just crickets going or a light breeze or something like that. Something to add the atmosphere in that way.
So NWA-TNA pay-per-view number 64, Raven comes out to cut a promo about how he's going to take out the New Church. He runs them off after Slash, Sin, and Vampiro are disqualified in a match against 3LK after Vampiro hits Ron Killings with a cane, which deeply confused the announcers, by the way. They're like, what's it a DQ for? It's like, he hit him with a cane in front of a referee.
To be fair, are they wrong to question this in this company?
There's low blows this month that happen just right in front of the referee, and the referee just doesn't do anything.
There was one really good one that was hidden like just by running in and running out really quickly. So my biggest takeaway from this match was that Don West hates 3LK's theme music.
Does he? Why?
Because he goes, thank God they broke up the 3LK debut of the song.
He's not a big fan of 3LK's genre of music.
Yeah, he's like, thank God. I hope we never have to hear that ever again.
And later in the month, 3LK come out to a different song.
I think he did it.
Don West got rid of the song.
So yeah, I think this one, for me, it kind of immediately killed Vampiro's aura. Because like, day one, he has to get in there with fucking BG James, who like does a dance in front of him. And you're like, I don't know, man. It's Vampiro. Maybe just treat him with a bit of like, oh, it's Vampiro.
Yeah, because Vampiro has a few matches this month. He has this one and he has a match against the Gathering before he does the Raven match. And I would have just said, just don't have him wrestle. Just have him build to the Raven match.
Or like book him like fucking Malice and have him just run through him.
Have him squash Mad Mikey or Shark Boy or something.
Yeah, I really thought this was a bad decision to have like a guy who clearly was like, I don't fear this guy at all, when he was like this white hand of murder for a month.
See, Raven comes out, runs off the new church, and talks about how he's going to go through the new church one at a time. Is his new mission to take them all out.
I just really want to reaffirm here, Raven looks so much better like this. And now he's got the face paint going again. Ugh.
And he has the dog collar around his neck, so he has that little chain added as well.
Just the coolest.
So he wants to get to Mitchell, and he's going to take out everybody before he can get to Mitchell. There's a note. Vampiro has rubbed some TNA agents the wrong way by offering a few too many suggestions for his character. The focus of his storyline is on Raven and Sinister Minister, and the word in the locker room is that Vamp isn't content with being a supporting character.
I mean, fair enough. It's probably hard to be a big star somewhere and then be like, alright, I'm just a guy here.
And like the point of this feud is not for Raven to get to Vampiro, it's for Raven to get to Mitchell.
Yeah.
And Vampiro is like the big boss of the new church still, but he's still like the step before Raven gets to James Mitchell.
But like that's the whole, like the territory shtick, right? It's like you want to get to the manager above all else. Also, like James Mitchell is literally the devil, so
yeah. And I think this is the last we see of Vampiro. All of his stuff is here in October. Like all of Vampiro's TNA run, every match.
How fitting. Halloween.
Yeah, it's the spook month for the Blood Gallows of Retribution match or whatever it was called.
Fucking Dream Blood of Retribution.
I think it was Dream Blood of Gallows Retribution, Doc Gallows.
This is a Devil May Cry mission.
Dream Blood of Festus match.
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
So yes, Raven starts his journey through the new church with a match against Sin on NWA-TNA pay-per-view number 65.
I just read this and my only note was the word blood.
My favorite thing was the promo leading to this match, where backstage James Mitchell was there with his new church, and he's talking about how tonight Raven's going to face Sin. And Sin is a tough dude. He's so tough that we're going to throw darts in his back right now, right in front of you, so you can see how tough this man is.
This was the promo where I officially declared that the new church are the best thing NWA-TNA has ever done.
So, like, Mitchell is just cutting this promo about how Sin is a tough guy. Sin turns around, Slash walks up with some darts, and just starts throwing him in the back of Sin.
I like that at the end, Sin doesn't even get, like, the credit for this, because it's Slash going, next to his back.
He doesn't even know, so he doesn't even turn around. He's just there with darts. And, like, it's so typical of pro wrestling that they probably shoot through darts in the man's back.
Oh, they 100% did.
It's so stupid that wrestling is like, oh yeah, we're going to actually throw darts in this man's back, even though there's probably a way we could very easily work the idea of throwing darts in his back without actually throwing darts in the man's back. But yeah, Raven beats Sin. I have very little to say about a lot of these actual matches. I think they're all fine. They're all like Raven just runs through the guy pretty quick.
I think everything this month was like between 2 and like 3 1/4. So if you want our impressions on the match, all of the matches, not terrible, but nothing great really either.
The other note before this match is that Raven told the Gathering that this is a mission he wants to go by himself, so Punk and Julio shouldn't come out.
We're starting that up now too.
Yes, so after the match, Raven tried to get further revenge on Sin. Vampiro interfered. They were going to hang Raven again from the rafters in the corner, but the Gathering made the save.
He just said not to.
He did just say not to.
His bloody kids aren't listening to him.
They're not. So NWA-TNA pay-per-view number 66, October 15th. The show opens after we get the Mike Tenay Don West talking about Japan. We get Mitchell being brawled out into the arena with Raven being dragged by a chain.
Yeah, this was actually pretty great. I wanted to mention real quick. At the start of 65, there was a really great little mini James Mitchell promo with his hair was all on his face and he was sweating and he's like, I want to literally kill this guy. I want to kill him and I want to see him in hell. And I was like, that's a great promo.
Yeah, I think it was included in the cold open, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which is a weird place to put it. It's like, no, put this good James Mitchell promo, put it like an actual spotlight on it.
They've started to do these things where like they would do the recap and then they'll cut to a promo what happened after it. But they're just in the cold open. But yeah, just wanted to mention that because it was a really good promo.
It's not even usually like a full promo. It's usually like a 20-second, reaction shot.
It's like a New Japan interview.
Everything is Japan with you on this episode, isn't it?
Well, only the good things.
So James Mitchell being dragged into the arena by Raven, he's going to hang him, but then he's jumped by Vampiro and Slash, and he's put through a table before once again the Gathering arrive.
Yeah, we're setting up a big match later on.
Yeah, so Raven was meant to face Slash on the show. Instead, the Gathering faced Vampiro and Slash. Eric Watts makes that change.
Classic.
So later in the show, Raven is backstage with the Gathering, and he's like, guys, I told you. And he's very patient, in fairness. He's not snapping on them. He's just like, I told you I want to do this myself.
I like how they're very careful here to make Raven not come across as a dick about this.
I do find it interesting how like Raven is like being pretty nice about it. Like he's not like he's not trying to drop bleach down CM Punk's throat.
I was gonna say the old Raven literally would have tried to murder one of them over this,
but instead he's just like, guys, I told you this is a mission I have to go through by myself. Please leave me do this by myself.
But also like, why? Just don't.
He wants to take them out one by one.
Real men accept help.
Raven's not a real man.
Whoa, what the fuck?
So Vampiro and Slash defeat the Gathering later in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Raven comes out, tries to get his hands on Mitchell, but Mitchell escapes.
Again. It's almost like they're paying off to that or something.
So NWA-TNA pay-per-view number 67, Raven faces Slash in a dog collar match, which has, I think, my favorite dog collar match finish of all time.
That should literally be the finish to MJF Punk.
It's so good. So they have the chain between them. Slash charges Raven in the corner. Raven does like a real quick rope-a-dope, then pulls on the chain. Slash does like a 360 spin, and then Raven catches him in the Raven effect, drops him, pins him. Like, I can't do it justice to how smooth it is. It's like all one single movement. It's really cool. It's such a good finish.
Yeah, it looked really cool. There was some awkward moments in this dog collar match, but for the most part, it was pretty fun. I mean, Slash is great, so... I
think they're pretty cool awkward moments sometimes as well, where it's like they didn't measure the chain properly, or the chain gets stuck in the rope or something, and someone gets their head pulled the wrong direction.
What happened was, he went over it, but he didn't realize that the chain was still threaded around, so he went to Irish whip him, and he just got fucking yanked down by his neck.
Which, listen, very unpleasant, I'd imagine, for Slash, but a pretty good spot in a dog collar match.
If only it was something he had been ready for and could have prepared for instead of just legitimately having his neck get yanked.
Yeah, great finish to this match. After the match, he tried to hang Slash. Vampiro and Mitchell made the save. There's a brawl. Vampiro spat mist in Raven's face, but the Gathering ran out to help again, even though Raven told him not to, and Raven's mad because they turned to help.
Grr.
An angry man. So later in the show, the usual thing they do now, where Don West and Mike Tenay are running down the card for next week, Raven interrupts them to challenge Vampiro to a Dream Blood Gallows of Retribution match for next week.
This is the most pretentious thing I've ever heard in my life.
And like, it's a pretty simple story, or like the stipulation. The match, there's dog collars hanging from each of the 4 ropes. You have to tie the dog collar around your opponent's neck and choke them and hang them for the match to end. But yeah, the Dream Blood Gallows of Retribution.
I hate how much they said Dream Blood. Makes no sense.
The weird bit is they dropped the Dream bit for the next show. It's just the Blood Gallows of Retribution match.
Yeah, but then he has Dream Blood on his chest.
He does. So there's mixed messaging here from the NWA-TNA.
And he cuts a promo where he's like, James Mitchell, I can't feel your Dream Blood.
And then NWA-TNA pay-per-view number 68, Raven finally gets his hands on Vampiro in the Dream Blood Gallows of Retribution match. Raven wins. They do the same DDT they did with Franchise, the top rope DDT through a table, except Vampiro took absolutely none of the bump.
Yeah, I think the table was out of place a little bit too here. It just didn't work out well.
Yeah, Raven just went ass first through the table. Vampiro did not come within a country mile of the table.
Not at all.
But then Raven threw him over the ropes, hung him. Vampiro is now taken out. Mitchell tried to interfere post-match, tried to throw a fireball. Raven ducked. Gathering ran out again. These boys do not listen.
And the problem here was, like, because it missed, they looked like dickheads running out.
And to be fair, it was meant to miss. Raven was meant to duck. But yeah, it's like, he was fine. What are you doing? It
would also like Punk grabbed him to stop him. It was really weird.
I wonder, were they meant to actually pull him out of the way, but they just mistimed it?
Yeah, it was very odd.
So yeah, Raven was mad that the Gathering came out.
I was mad because it looked stupid.
Then Raven challenged James Mitchell to a last man standing match for next week's pay-per-view.
What if he just says no?
Listen, his entire new church has been taken out. What's he going to do?
Say no?
That's true. He could just say no. And obviously, Sin wasn't that badly taken out. Sin is probably recovered.
And so just make a call to Malice,
Yeah, get Brian Lee back.
Yeah. But also just don't show up next week. No, it's don't show up next week. So what? You lose a match by count or whatever. Raven's still bald. Still scalped him.
Still got his hair.
Doesn't take that away from it.
Still got all his dignity and self-respect.
Yeah.
So that is the Raven and New Church stuff for the month. I will say, this felt like this program just should have ended with the hair versus hair match. The Raven Retribution story doesn't feel particularly interesting.
Yeah.
But listen, the matches have all been fine. The stories have all been fine. But after 2 or 3 months of Raven and Douglas being the highlight of the show, this month it's just a thing on the show.
Yeah.